Hey guys, drdecks here. Thank you for checking out today's video. I really appreciate it. Today we are talking about the top 5 tools that you're going to need to start building decks. And if you get something out of this video or you like what you see, please click that subscribe button and click the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we're putting out fresh content. Alright, so probably our number one tool, the number one tool that we use day in and day out is a compound slide miter saw. And that's what you see here. This one's made by Metabo HPT. This is a 10-inch version. We also have a 12-inch version on site. We usually run 2 chop saws on the same job site on a product called a cut hub, which helps kind of put everything together. And we also attach another one of the tools I'm going to tell you about to that as well. But for this particular number one, this is probably our number one workhorse. It's the one thing that we use the most out of any tool that we have is a compound slide miter saw. You don't have to get a sliding miter saw. What that does is if you unloosen this right here, it allows you to get a deeper range of cut into your material, okay? So let's just say we're cutting at a 90-degree angle, which is 90 or 80% of the time we're cutting at 90-degree angles, and we're just cutting straight cuts. This allows you to make a deeper depth of cut up to a 12-inch piece of material. So that is number one on my list, compound slide miter saw. So the second thing on my list that is probably the next most important thing that I use on a job site to build decks is a cordless impact driver. This one again is Metabo HPT. It's an 18-volt platform, runs at 4 amp hours. Really awesome battery. These are brushless. They're rated for IP56, which means I can use them in the rain all day long and they won't get destroyed. Where I live, it rains a lot. My tools get wet a lot. I always try to keep them dry and under cover, but for the most part, you got to get yourself a couple of these bad boys because they just put things together quickly and effortlessly compared to standard drills. So a cordless impact driver could be DeWalt, could be Makita, but you know, I like these Metabo HPTs. So definitely something to consider to add to your arsenal if you already haven't done so. Number 3 on my list is you absolutely have to have something to rip materials, thin them out, shave them down, cut them in half, rip them in half. So I like to have a 10-inch table saw on my job site. This one's a DeWalt. It's a compact saw, but it has a full 24-inch ripping capacity. This one is not cordless. It's a standard plug-in model. We have upgraded. This used to be our job site table saw, and we've since upgraded to the Metabo HPT 10-inch cordless saw, which I didn't think we were going to use the cordless capabilities too much, but we end up using it all the time, which is kind of interesting. So a corded or cordless 10-inch table saw will do wonders for you. One thing I have to say about that, always use a push stick, or you're going to end up with a thumb like this with 50 stitches in it. You don't want to end up with a thumb like this. It takes about 4 or 5 years to get the feeling back in it when you decide to run it through your table saw. So this is a lot less painful way to do that. Always use a push stick. Take it from me. I learned the hard way. Can be a little bit of a dangerous tool, but man, we've ripped miles and miles and miles of material on this saw. So that's number 3. That was number 3 on my top 5 of things I like to have on a job site. All right, so number 4 on my list, in my opinion, even though we are going to a cordless society on our job sites, I still like to have myself a good air compressor on site. Again, this one's by DeWalt. It pumps up to like 130 PSIs, or it'll go higher than that. But for what we do, 120 to 130 PSI is good. We have a new one by Metabo HPT. So this one's been retired to the shop. Still a great air compressor. You're gonna run a various types of pneumatic tools with it. We have pneumatic air guns, pneumatic grinders, pneumatic air ratchet guns, and things like that. So the air compressor is becoming less of an item, but still necessary. There's still certain nail guns that we use that are pneumatic that either we don't have the cordless version of, or we're not going to get the cordless version of, and we just run it with the pneumatic. So this requires the compressor and an air hose and the tool that you want to run with those two in succession. Usually there's a regulator on there that you can dial up and down, pretty basic, but works really well for construction. And kind of think that's something we still need, even though there's other guys out there that are trying to go all cordless. I still think you kind of need a powered air compressor on site. All right, and the fifth and final thing that I feel is necessary on a job site. Sometimes I wear them, sometimes I don't, but when I need one, it's really handy to have is a tool apron. What it does is it just keeps all of your tools handy. You got your hammer, knife, pry bar, torpedo level. Let's see. Now this is Andy's tool belt, so it doesn't fit me quite right, but I'm just using it as an example for you guys. Chalk line over here. What do we got over here? Got some miscellaneous stuff, some gloves, a notepad, and you can put a hammer over here somewhere too, I think. But it's just kind of handy to have your bags readily available for you, especially when you're on ladders and working on higher decks. A good apron is your best friend. Now, this particular apron is made by Diamondback Tool Belts. Very high quality. I'm really impressed with their quality. I wholeheartedly recommend these guys. Their customer service is amazing as well. Damani. And I just really appreciate the brand altogether. So give them a follow and go check them out. Really high quality stuff. Excellent hardware. These things will not wear out. Good product. Really appreciate those guys. Diamondback Tool Belt. That's my fifth and final recommendation for you on the job site. If you like what you saw or learned a little something, please click that subscribe button and click the bell icon every time you want to be notified of future updates. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.